When you follow your passions into an arts career, you can find many creative and emotional satisfactions, even financial rewards, but artists also experience unique challenges and pressures. Actresses are made to feel entirely dependent in order to do the work they love. Actor, director Olivia Wilde. I slowly started to fall into pressure, but I wasn't living my most authentic self. Transgender actress Leyna Bloom. Always trying to figure out what's your next job, show, or audition, the demands never end. As you juggle so many aspects of your career, it feels like the pressure is coming from everywhere. Psychotherapist Mihaela Ivan Holtz. Imagination can fuel creativity, but also our anxieties, one kind of pressure artists face. One of psychologist C.G. Jung's concepts is active imagination. Jungian analyst John Beebe comments about it being a kind of dialogue between conscious and unconscious. Creative and highly talented people often have imaginational intensity and ability tapped into by so many artists, such as writers and actors, for developing characters. In a video for her online acting class, Natalie Portman says, "Be free. Make mistakes. Try things. This is a job about your imagination." But we can also use our imagination to fuel anxieties and phobias, and hold us back from pursuing dreams. The ability to imagine inspires creative work and artists, but it can also energize our inner critic voice, another kind of emotional pressure that can impact creative dreams and accomplishments. Included in the article below are many quotes by actors, musicians and psychologists on topics related to working as creative professionals. Director, actor, producer and activist Olivia Wilde commented about her passion to act at a young age. "I wanted to be on Saturday Night Live as a cast member. So I went to my mom at 10 years old and said, 'This is what I want.' And she said, 'Great, well, you're going to have to go to Second City and you're going to have to audition.' And she took me seriously. And I think that's what always kind of helped propel me and take myself seriously, is that I had supportive parents that were in no way pressuring me to do anything. But if I declared that I wanted something, they took me seriously. And that is often what it takes when you decide to be an artist." Wilde talks about what she learned in her acting career that helped her direct, and also what not to do with her actors. "The worst thing I could do is say to them a scene is not working perfectly, which a lot of directors don't know is actually not helpful. It's death to an actor. It's like they are on this high wire of their own emotions, hypnotizing themselves to be in alternate universes, and you come over and say it's not working, it's like you just shove them off." In another interview for Off Camera, she talks about how being a mother has impacted her, and also how isolating a film set can be.
I don't know if I want my life to be defined by how much work I've done. I want to be proud of things, but I also don't need to be super famous. I don't need to be super rich. These aren't things that I need to survive. And I think once that became crystal clear, I was like, oh, so I just want to work with fun people and do cool shit.
So you didn't ever have the thing of, if you don't reach a certain place, then there's something inherently tied into your self-worth?
I think I reached a point when I realized that that wasn't, whatever the kind of established path that existed for actors, that successful path, like that, I didn't identify with it. I think acting is really isolating. You know, an actress is brought into a production after so much work has been done, right?
Right.
And kept very separate from the rest of the kind of artists and technicians involved.
Right. We don't need you on set until...
Don't need you on set. Keep them isolated. Keep them protected. Keep as if they're like kind of like circus animals that have to be kept kind of like relaxed and quiet in a cage, and just keep them like well fed and watered, and then release them right when you need them to do the trick, and then put them back in the cage.
She also comments,
and I think about how actresses in particular are made to feel entirely dependent in order to do the work they love. You're so easily replaceable. There's so many of you. You got this job, but we had all these other options. So you've been chosen because...
Right, like the guy was attached, and then we had to go find his girlfriend.
Always, exactly. Even, I mean, in every case, yes. We found our guy, so the movie was real, and now we can pick a girl. But we've got 100 options.
Yeah.
Thousands, maybe. You've been chosen. How lucky are you? So already that puts you in a sort of vulnerable mindset.
And it maybe pits you against your colleagues.
Well, that's a absolutely true phenomenon. The idea of isolating women, that happens in Hollywood, it happens in society in general. I think society very conveniently tries to just pit us against each other and remind each other, oh, there's only room for one of you, which is a distortion. But that's the idea. That's we've been told. So within Hollywood as an actress, you are vulnerable to begin with because you've been chosen and you feel that you could lose that opportunity at any point, at which point, if you were to lose the opportunity, you cease to exist. And so...
Or if you piss off the wrong person.
You immediately get a terrible reputation, and that happens to countless actresses who stood up for themselves at different points, and they're told, like, ugh, she's a nightmare, easily replaceable. And I think that when I reflect on it, I think about the amount of time I spent being like, well, I'm not entirely just thrilled with this situation, but I really do want this job. And it might be that I don't understand that this is the way it's done. So I'm just gonna, I'm a team player, and I'm just gonna like deal with it. It's funny because we've seen filmmaking evolve so much in 100 years, and women's roles within filmmaking evolve so much in 100 years. But it's really only in the past 20 years, the idea of women waking up to their own power and saying, wait a minute, this industry doesn't actually work without us. Why are we being told that we are entirely dependent on the kind of the men who run these studios, or traditionally did run the studios, kind of organizing your place within it. And I believe now things are changing and women are standing up for themselves and saying, like, this is how I want to be paid on this set, treated on this set, and this is the experience I'm looking for. But also I hope they can feel less replaceable and know that each role that is yours can only be yours, and that there are countless other roles for you. It's not like there's just one role that's going to make you a star.
And so you'll do whatever to get that one role.
Yeah, better play along or you'll lose the job and cease to exist. I think that's shifting, and it comes from, I think, like shifting the paradigm from within. If you're within something and you understand the mechanics of it, then you can really create change.
Right.
So my experience as an actor allowed me to understand what we could change on the set.
One kind of pressure actors and other performers and artists may face is the demand to present yourself in ways defined by others as viable, even when that may be distorting who you really are. Leyna Bloom became the first transgender actress of color to earn a lead role in a film at the Cannes Film Festival, Port Authority. In an article about her journey to becoming an actor, writer Amy Kaufman notes, Leyna Bloom felt she needed to take her life into her own hands after dropping out of the dance program at Chicago Academy for the Arts months earlier. When she was granted a scholarship to the prestigious dance program in her sophomore year, she'd already transitioned. But the school would recognize only the gender she was assigned at birth. So she shaved off all of her hair, bought boys' clothing, and started presenting as a male. I slowly started to fall into pressure, but I wasn't living my most authentic self, Bloom recalled. I was living my life for people saying, "You are a boy." I was like, I don't fit this. I'm gonna do pas de deux as the male? I'm the woman, I'm the soloist, I'm the princess. Life is too short to be someone who someone else wants me to be. I don't want to be stashed away. I want to be living out loud and proud. Keeping your identity authentic and living by your own values may be especially hard as a performer who is called on to be someone else, a character. Jackie Earle Haley achieved an Oscar nomination for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in Todd Field's Little Children. He has commented about being a child actor. I started acting when I was 5 years old. And I was pretty well known for a while. Your self-esteem and your identity start to become wrapped up in that celebrity, and when that starts to fade away, your self-esteem and your identity start to fade away with it. Living under pressure in an arts career. Psychotherapist Mihaela Ivan Holtz helps creative people in TV/film, performing and fine arts, and writes many articles on her site and elsewhere. She writes, "You chose this career in the arts. You love it. It's fascinating and it gives you the privilege to live your heart's desire. Yet, you know that this work takes more than passion. You need dedication and action for your creative ideas come to life and to make a living as an artist. As much as you love this work, some aspects of your career may feel more like an unsolvable puzzle or an unending maze. Always trying to figure out what's your next job, show, or audition. The demands never end. As you juggle so many aspects of your career, it feels like the pressure is coming from everywhere. Pressure to show up. Pressure to have the right attitude or to impress the right people. And, the ultimate pressure, to make your art under all this pressure. Living under pressure is quite challenging. You can feel the negative energy taking over. It's sucking the life out of you. Sometimes, as pressure starts disconnecting you from your creativity, you forget why you are an artist after it all. Slowly you lose your genuine connection to who you are as a creative. But pressure comes with the territory. You can't escape it. It's part of the fine arts and entertainment world. So, how can you work with pressure while still maintaining your authentic connection to yourself, your art, your audience, and the people you love? Here are some powerful, healthy options to help you work with pressure. Keep a private journal. First, make sure this journal is for your eyes only. Subconsciously you can sabotage your journaling if you're worried that someone else may have access to it. The journal is for you to be able to say anything that comes your mind about your life circumstances, the people you have to deal with, your self-expectations. It's a place for you to reveal your true feelings. As your feelings take shape on the page, you can see them and experience them with more clarity. When you're under pressure, you often don't have time to feel and acknowledge your feelings. But, when denied, feelings can come back to haunt you. Your denied and repressed feelings wait in your mind, ready to show their power in indirect ways. They can make you tired, lost, and confused. They can make you emotionally overreactive and out of control. They can show up as depression, anxiety, and addictions. They disconnect you from your authentic self, the birthplace of your authentic art and connections. Journaling gives you the opportunity to reconnect with your real self. As your feelings come back to life in your journal, you come back to life as well. Deeply grounded in your own truth, you can reconnect with your creative energy. It's from this authentic and grounded emotional place that you can create your genuine art and make good decisions about your career. Share your career experiences with someone you trust. Many times, when under pressure, artists can become emotionally isolated. Feeling alone and disconnected, the pressure becomes a big, looming presence. Having someone walk with you through the various pressures can create a safe emotional space for you to feel grounded in your own strength and power. Companionship gives you the energy to take on your battles. But it does have to be someone you trust. You don't need someone who will discourage you, judge you, or dismiss you. You need someone who can make you feel like you got this. In fact, there is something very powerful and life-sustaining about sharing your intimate struggles with someone with whom you have a strong bond. Nothing can replace the genuine emotional support of an authentic relationship. It fills you with the good energy of hope, encouragement, confidence, and trust that you can get somewhere. Relationships can make you or break you. Surround yourself with those that believe in you, your success and happiness. Meditation and mindfulness. When you're overwhelmed by pressure, it can make you feel emotionally weak and out of control. Meditation and mindfulness expand your capacity to bear pressure and not let it get to you. See more suggestions in her article, How to Cope with the Pressure of an Artistic Career. Being highly sensitive can increase the impact of pressures on creative people. Nicole Kidman notes she was a highly sensitive child, and thinks most actors are highly sensitive people, but you have this incredible scrutiny. You have to develop a thick skin, but you can't have a thick skin in your work. So it's that constant push-pull. Creativity coach Jenna Avery describes how constantly striving and being urgent about our lives and careers can have negative impacts on emotional health, especially for highly sensitive people, who don't like to work under stress and pressure. This constantly striving and being urgent about a career may be a common feature of life for many actors and other performers. That is another reason to actively help yourself deal with pressures and emotional health challenges, especially as a highly sensitive person. Alanis Morissette comments about discovering she is among the many of us who are highly sensitive. A few years ago I read Elaine Aron's book The Highly Sensitive Person, and quickly, her others. I found myself crying for how recognized I felt in her pages. That 20% of humans and animals have this trait of high sensitivity, and that this trait sets us up to thrive in certain environments, while having unique challenges in others. It normalized a part of me that I have felt both ashamed and proud of my whole life. Sensitivity expert, psychotherapist, and author Julie Bieland writes, "Imagine there is a motor on the inside of you. Some people have a fast motor and some people a slow motor, and then of course there is everything in between. Most people whose motor is too fast experience feelings of anxiety. Family pressure or not. Pressuring a prodigy to perform and excel. Pianist long comments, if my father had pressured me like this and I had not done well, it would have been child abuse, and I would be traumatized, maybe destroyed. He could have been less extreme and we probably would have made it to the same place. You don't have to sacrifice everything to be a musician. But we have the same goal. So since all the pressure helped me become a world-famous star musician, which I love being, I would say that, for me, it was in the end a wonderful way to grow up. Not so much pressure. More creative exploration. Actor, writer, producer Britt Marling attended Georgetown University and graduated valedictorian. At school, she became friends with Mike Cahill and Zal Bot-Monglish. She later co-wrote Another Earth with Cahill, and with Bot-Monglish co-wrote the Netflix series The Oa Source of the Image Above of Marling. Marling recalls Georgetown was a strange place for the three of us to end up. A lot more people were going to work at banks or on Capitol Hill. But I think because the three of us found each other there, and because what we were doing was kind of unusual, it made it the most amazing place. We found each other and then we just started making this work. There weren't a lot of people doing it, so we were just kind of teaching ourselves, and we felt this real freedom to do it, because there was not a lot of pressure. We were not doing it in the context of a film school or an art school, where there's all this competition. We were just doing it for the pure love of it.